And we are live. Let me know that you can see me and hear me. Most conversations about feminine sales versus masculine sales are flawed. They're not really comparing apples to apples. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. Let me know in the chat if you have noticed this. They're basically comparing healthy feminine sales to toxic masculine sales. And by that comparison, we don't get the real full picture. The truth is, sales at its best is a braid of both feminine flow and masculine container woven together. I like to call this the braiding of the masculine and the feminine. Just like you can't have a baby without both the egg and the sperm, you can't have money without the feminine and masculine in sales. You can't have sales without masculine trust and feminine medicine. So personally, I learned sales from my mother, Sheena, 25 years ago. My mother was amazing at sales. She had absolutely zero formal sales training, but what she had is a natural, intuitive, feminine style of sales. So when she joined a real estate office with 200 agents, barely could speak English, didn't have the right clothing, the right look, the right anything. All she had was her feminine skills. She went from being non-existence, completely new in the real estate market, to being in the top 10 leaderboard in the first 30 days. And then she became the number one top producer in that real estate office, 200 agents within 60 days. So when I joined her shortly after that, I learned to sell real estate, which is high ticket, and this is in Chicago. So the average price of the properties that I was selling was about $450,000. This was 25 years ago. And so I learned to sell face to face with Sheena. But here's the other thing. Our are like broker. So the real estate agents have to be under like a broker in the real estate industry. And his name was Jeff. And he would provide us with sales training. So like official sales training. And it was complimentary. A lot of people would not attend. One of my biggest regrets is not attending all of them. I attended some. And so what I learned from there was healthy masculine skills. And so I didn't know that there was an unhealthy way of selling. I just didn't know. I just thought some people sell and some people don't. So this is how I learned to sell face to face, nervous system to nervous system in a high stakes environment with lots of competition around me. But my mom and I never saw any competition. People would complain, oh, it's too saturated. There's too many agents. But we couldn't even take all the clients that we wanted to. We were literally playing in our own field. And then decades later, I started this business, my personal development online life coaching school. And I have made multiple eight figures in this business. And I learned that all I had to do was transfer the masculine and feminine skill sets that I learned in real estate over to the online world. I didn't know that, it was hard to sell online. I didn't know there was a toxic way to sell. I just knew this is how you sell. And I practiced that in my business with my online life coaching and courses and hit the ground running and it blew up. Well, when my clients were coming for, health coaching, life coaching, all the different things I was doing, this was in 2016, 2017. In 2018, my clients started asking me, how are you doing this business in such a feminine way? We want to learn. But the truth is, I wasn't doing it in just a feminine way. I was doing it in a braided way. And so in 2018, I launched sort of like my first How to Do What I'm Doing course, my business course. And what I want to share with you today is I've sold homes, I've sold high ticket coaching, I've sold ideas to millions, worth millions. And here's what I know. Sales is never just a transaction, it's a transformation. And one of the things that I love about talking about most is sales and money. And I think why I'm able to get so many people different results is because I'm not just someone that put up a shingle and said, here's how I can teach you how to make money. Here's why. I'm not, no shade. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. A lot of my clients say that the reason they hired me specifically is because I didn't make 8 figures from telling people that I made money. That wasn't my first business, right? There's a lot of people that just take someone else's course and then just repeat that, and then that's how they become a business coach. But their business is it feels like sometimes it can feel like a MLM or like a pyramid scheme. I made 8 figures. I sold 8 figures worth of real estate in my 20s, and then I got married. My husband retired me, had my babies, was a stay-at-home mom, and then I launched my coaching business and I was selling personal development and coaching. So I'm not someone that made money from making income claims. And I think that's why a lot of women resonate with my work is because you can use these principles, which I'm about to teach you, in any business in-person, online products, services. In fact, in my Kaina Success Academy, we've got doctors in there, we've got lawyers, we've got therapists, we've got people with physical products that they ship out. We've got, I mean, teachers, influencers, other coaches in a variety of different fields because sales is sales. Once you understand sales, you can use it to sell anything. You know who's really good at sales? Children. They're always selling us. I have 3 kids, I know, on all kinds of ideas. And so sales is just humaning. We're always selling our ideas to other people as human beings. We're tribal creatures. And so these principles work regardless of what industry you're in. So here's what I'm sharing with you today. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Who wants my sales game that you can start practicing today? Sales is neither masculine or feminine. It's braided. We need to stop comparing healthy feminine energy sales with toxic masculine energy sales. That's not an educated comparison, right? It just that we do that in dating too, and it's like, that's not a mature conversation. Can we stop that? So the feminine way of looking at sales is how do you feel and how do they feel with the relationship that you're building? I recently posted a video that women have an unfair advantage in business. I really do think we do. And those are things that men can learn, but we do have an unfair advantage because so much of long-term sales are relationship building. But you need the masculine as well. You need the structure, you need the direction, you need that ability to close. Without the braid, you either collapse in feminine flow, no closing, no income, you become a starving artist, or if you only have the masculine, you burn out, right? It's hard to have longevity because you might not be enjoying what you're doing. Can I give you guys a couple of examples? One from today. Let me know if you guys want to hear some examples of feminine businesses that make it so hard to do business with, that make it so hard. So only feminine does not equal good. If you want to make tons of money and have clients that are happy and getting results, you need to have a braided experience, not just feminine, not just masculine. So a little bit over a decade ago, I was looking for a coach to hire. And I found someone who was a relationship coach. My husband and I were having some communications issue at the time. This is about 12 years ago. And I was consuming her free content in her Facebook group. And then I messaged her saying, I love your work and I would like to work with you. I didn't hear a response. I waited. I messaged a couple more times. I went to her website, couldn't find it, tried to find her website, couldn't find it, combed through the entire Facebook group, no links to buy anything. Messaged her a couple more times, and then I moved on and hired someone else. She responded to me a year later. A year later. It was about 324 days later. And she said, great, I would love to work with you. I said, I responded back saying, I've hired like three other coaches since then. What took so long, right? And she's like, well, everything I do is very feminine. I teach very like feminine. Uh, yeah, but I actually like need structure and I can't trust you. And then she tried to sell me. She's like, well, it doesn't matter that you have three other coaches. You can still work with me. It's like, no, I don't trust that you're not going to show up. Like, I can't trust that you're going to show up after I hand you my money, right? So, anyways, her business doesn't exist anymore. And right before it disappeared, there were people complaining in her Facebook group that they paid her and she never showed up. That's overly feminine business. Do you see that you need masculine trust? Let me give you another example. There's a feminine energy business coach that I reached out to last year. I found her on YouTube, love her free content, combed through all the videos, no links. Went through her About Me page, no links to buy anything. She talks about clients, so I know she sells stuff. Found her Instagram, no links. I found a client commenting on something that I went through this rabbit hole. This was last year. And somehow I found an application to apply. And I was like, yes, okay, great. So I applied to work with her. I knew that I was overqualified because they teach people that are kind of like in the six-figure range, maybe even seven-figure. I'm already at eight figures, but I'm like, I could learn from her. So I fill out the application. It says, thank you for the application. Someone will call you within 24 hours. This was last year. I've DM'd them. I've emailed them. I've commented on their pages. They don't respond. This is the message I sent her today. Today, I said, hello, beautiful. I have been trying to buy from you for over a year. I have DM'd, filled out the application, commented, emailed, no response. This is my final attempt. May I please have the link to your sales program? No response. This was just today, though, but this has been going on for a year. This is an overly feminine business. I do not recommend it. Okay. We need masculine structures in business for people to be able to trust us. Now, I'm not, I respond as much as I can. I have a team that responds. Maybe we miss a couple of DMs, but here's the thing. You can always go to my website. You can always go to any of my YouTube channel of like videos. Click in the description. There's links. You can go to my website. There's links. You can order my books off of Amazon. There's links. You can buy stuff from me. I have healthy masculine structures and containers. This is necessary. Okay. Masculine energy is so amazing. So let me give you the difference. Let me give you kind of the example. So the feminine is the medicine, the skill set. The masculine is the structure. So if I walk into my dentist's office, his office is the masculine. The receptionist that greets me is the masculine. The payment system, the insurance taking, that's the masculine. The skill that the dentist provides is the feminine, the medicine. So we need both. This is just two examples that I gave you. I have seen this in the industry. People who are like have all this amazing medicine. There's people like me with my credit card out. I have a very large budget for online courses, mentorships. I spend very heavily in myself. I love this. I love this. Like I would be doing this, and I was doing this even before I had the business. I love personal development. I love learning. And you'd be surprised at how difficult some people make it to buy from them. It's like, just send me the link. Why even have an application system when there's no, like, why not just just send me the link. Just give me the link. Make it easy. Okay. So we need both. So let's talk about marketing versus sales. So I want you to think of marketing is the foreplay. Sales is the orgasm. Without both, the experience falls flat. Okay, so we've got marketing and then we've got sales. We've got feminine, the medicine, the relationship, and then we've got the structures. You can trust that when you go to my website, and I use a very well-known platform, course creation platform called Thinkific, that when you enter your credit card, it's everything. You just immediately get access to the course. Like it's safe. I've been doing this for 9 years. You're not chasing me down, right? You're not I'm not making it hard for you to buy from me. So the masculine structures of my business make it so I make money in my sleep because I don't need someone to be up to be sending you links, or you don't have to go digging for links. It's all just there. Really easy and simple for you. That is the masculine part of sales that is very important. So the healthy masculine sales is the container, the clarity, the direction. Like, here's the next step. This is what to expect, dot, dot, dot. Like, here's the Zoom links. Here's where the recordings will be. Unhealthy masculine sales is pushy, manipulative, transactional. So can you see that we have to compare apples to apples? We need to compare healthy masculine sales to healthy feminine sales. We need both. Yeah? Healthy feminine sales is magnetism, connection, long-term relationship, pleasure in the process. Unhealthy feminine sales, like I just gave you the example, is passive, vague. I'll just attracted by wishing, lack of clarity. That's the shadow side of the feminine. So the the feminine kind of like opens the window and the masculine closes the sale, right? It's like the braid is where you both invite and lead. Everyone with me? So here's the thing. The braid is the new paradigm of sales. If you want to have raving clients, if you want to have people that love buying from you, you have repeat clients, you have people that sent you referrals, like our highest income comes from referrals, not number of sales. Number of sales comes from social media, but the highest income comes from referrals because people that are referred, they instantly just buy high ticket. You don't even have to warm them up. They're already warm. So if you want, those kind of people that are like in with you, you have to be able to braid both the masculine and the feminine. It's just like life itself. You can't create without both energies, just like with a baby, just like with money, just like with anything. Okay. Even when God created us, both men and women were giving masculine and feminine energy, right? It's just in different quantities. So I, as a woman, have about 70-80% feminine energy, and then the rest is masculine. And my husband has 70-80% masculine energy, and the rest is feminine, right? So we have both. So here's the thing about more like braided sales. The masculine parts of my business are YouTube. This is where you find me. My website, which isn't actually a website. I don't really own my website. I just bought a domain for a blog 17 years ago, and I just like hooked up that blog doesn't exist. So I just hooked up that domain to Thinkific's site, which is the platform we use to host our courses. So I actually do not actually have a website. But you think I have a website. So the website that you think I have is TheUniverseGuru.com. That's my masculine structure. And then we just use Thinkific and PayPal, Stripe. We have all of like as our masculine like sales money receiving venues. So that's my masculine containers, right? The part that makes you say, okay, I can feel safe giving her my credit card, like I'll immediately get access to the course. If there's an issue, I can email her team. That's the masculine part. The feminine sales part is I'm in my coaching. As your feminine guide, my job, this is the feminine part of sales, it's to guide you to make the best decision for you. So whether you are in coaching or not, maybe you have a physical product, maybe you are in, real estate, whatever. You have to know a little bit of coaching to understand feminine sales. So my job is to help you close yourself. It's to guide you there. It's to see if this is a good match for you. So feminine sales then equals invitation, resonance, and trust. Everyone with me? Let me know if this is resonating with you. I'm going to open up the chat to subscribers. I'm going to see if you guys, what kind of questions you guys have. Okay. All right. So let's see. So a good saleswoman is always a good coach. Even if you're not selling coaching, it helps to know a little bit of coaching. And here's the thing, as women, as moms, as sisters, as daughters, we're already good at coaching because coaching is relationships. It's guiding. She doesn't chase, she doesn't force, she invites. And later today, during this presentation, I'm going to be making you an invite so you can see how I'm doing it. So let me know, give me a yes if you're excited about me inviting you, and you'll see me actually putting this in practice, and I'll point out the parts that are the feminine versus the masculine so you can see how I'm doing it. Okay. The next thing you have to understand is that you need to learn to speak to the right client, not everyone. Trying to sell to everyone is selling to no one. And how you do this is by calling out the right clients with your offers, stories, and your voice. So let me give you an example of this. Let's say that I go to a crowded place. Let's say it's like New York, Manhattan, right? Like really busy, Times Square. And people are walking by, they're rushed. And I'm like, hey, do you think a lot of people will turn around and look? Probably not. They're busy. I'm not really calling out at anyone specifically. They'll probably think I'm like crazy or high or lost my mind or something. They're probably not going to turn around and look at me. Okay? Now let's say same place and I say, Mom, what's going to happen? Well, the moms in the closest vicinity to me will turn around. I know this happens to me. Even if my kids aren't with me, I'll go somewhere and like some kid will say mom, and it's just such a natural instinct for me to turn around and look because it feels like they're calling me out, right? So now some women will turn around. Who won't turn around? People who are not moms will not turn around, right? Um, Men won't turn around because I'm saying mom, right? Now, let's say that I say, Sally, who's going to turn around? Only the people named Sally. So, what we need to be able to do is in our messaging, call out our ideal client. So this is a big part of my work as well. Like when I get clients and they're saying, Mina, I'm selling, but like everyone says they don't have money. Like all my followers are saying they can't afford my prices. And I go on their social media and they're saying how to stop being broke. So what's happening? What's happening is they're calling out to broke people, trying to sell them something, and the response is, I would love to buy your thing, but I don't have any money. Well, yeah, because you're calling out to broke people. So we need to get really good at calling out the person that is the right match for our offer, our feminine offering. We need to know who will get the best results for this and can afford it. So when we change their marketing from how to go from your first couple of sales to money on repeat, now you're calling a different client. Or if you say how to go from 10K months to 20K months, now you're calling out a different client. You're calling out who? Someone who's already making 10K months, who wants to make more, who has money to pay you. So I'm just giving you Examples. I'll give you an example from my real estate days. So when I started out as a real estate agent with my mom, my first client was this cute little couple that bought their first condo. But I quickly realized that my mom was making a lot more than me because she was working with investors. So I was calling out because I was a new agent. I was treating myself as a beginner. I was calling out beginners who are buying their first home. So then I started buying investment properties, and then I started learning the language of people who buy investment properties. And I started calling out to investors. And then I quickly went from closing, condos for 150K to 450K 2-unit buildings. That was my specialty. I sold 2 to 3 unit buildings in Chicago. And I owned over 20 of them at one point. So you need to be able to call out the person. If you're making very general content, like too broad, I see a lot of people doing this on YouTube. What happens is you're in Times Square going, hey, 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 hey. Okay, that you'll get a lot of people, but not all of those people are the right match. My highest converting YouTube videos have the least views because I called out to a very specific person. And so let's say that I have views that are 80,000 people, like 80,000 views on YouTube. And let's say that video has made me in let's say the first 24 hours, because I think in the long time, each video is worth millions to me. But let's say that that video got 80,000 views and it got a lot of subscribers, but the conversion rate in the first day was maybe 30,000, 40,000 from that video. I have videos that are calling out the right client that got 3,000 views and made $200,000, $300,000 in that same 24 hours. Millions over the lifetime. So you need to know that there needs to be intentionality. And what happens with my clients that have a bigger following than me, especially on YouTube, my Instagram ones and TikTok ones that have larger followings understand this more easily. But on YouTube, this can be really difficult for my YouTuber clients who have really large followings because they're used to getting a lot of views, and it's hard for them to make videos and not get views. And I'm like, well, with this video, we're not optimizing it for views, we're optimizing it for sales. Let me give you a recent example that I kind of was breaking down inside of, I'm going to give you a more recent example. I was breaking this down. Actually, let me finish the presentation. Let me know at the end if you want me to break this down. But I broke this down in Kainat for the ladies, a recent video that did hundreds of thousands of sales that got 3,000 views because it called out a very specific person in a crowded space, right? So we want to make sure that that's something we're doing. So feminine sales psychology is about resonance over pressure. When I call out to the right person and I show them that I have the solution to what they desire, it's basically permission marketing, right? Like they come, they watch my free content, and they're like, oh, wow, yes, I want to tell me about your offers. I want to buy from you. Let me see. I lost my place in my notes. Excuse me while I find that. Yes, break it down for us. Okay, Kristen, I will find that video and I will break it down for you guys. Okay, so we called out the right client. Okay, now here's another thing about calling out the right client. There's also a consciousness for clients, and I'm going to refer you guys to my 4 stages. Basic Babe, these are my trademark frameworks. Basic Babe, Self-Aware Barbie, Million Dollar Babes, and High-End Divinity. So I've talked about these 4 stages as related to our consciousness, related to relationships, related to inner work and growth, money. This applies to our buyers. So when we are wanting to attract self-aware Barbies or million-dollar babes who are very self-led. They get amazing results. They have money to pay us for our sacred medicine. But our messaging is for basic babes. What happens is you end up with millions of followers, but they don't have the money, or they're not the type of people that buy what you're selling. I'll give you an example. I did not personally read the story. One of my mentors often shows the story as an example. And so you guys can Google this. This is a very famous story that a lot of people use as an example. So there was a very famous influencer. I don't know her name, but you can look it up with the story. She had 2.6 million followers, 2.6 million, and she could not sell 56 t-shirts. So she started a company, a t-shirt company. She wanted to monetize her audience. And she had 56 t-shirts that was like the first bulk or whatever shipment. She could not sell them. So what happened is that she attracted 2.6 million followers that didn't want to buy from her or didn't have the money for a t-shirt. I don't know why. What was it? Was it money or they just didn't see her as an authority? I'm thinking anyone should be able to sell 56 t-shirts if you have 2.6 million people following. But this is an example. Now, I get a lot of clients like this. When they hear and see my lifestyle, my numbers, which I don't share a lot of I don't want to attract people that are just in it for that. You guys know I'm very passionate about what I teach. But when other YouTubers with much larger followings, I've worked with YouTubers with over 1 million followers, and they were barely making in a year what I make in a day. And they were in the red because of the because their audience is so big, it takes more money to run a bigger channel. So they were actually in the negative every month. And the reason is because they had basic babes following them who loved them, who looked up to them, who were raving fans, but they, one, didn't have the money to buy anything that they were selling, and two, those aren't people that invest in the type of products they were selling. So in my coaching, I did a assessment of their channel and their messaging, and then we were able to figure out how we're either going to sell to the people that are there. Then you have to go low ticket. You have to sell products, or you start calling out a new audience, which can be hard when the people that are already there are like, why are you posting this? Or I don't want to watch this, but you're gonna have to. You have to, otherwise you're gonna be a starving artist. So your voice isn't for everyone. You have to think of it as like a tuning fork or like a bird call. It's for the right people. I definitely need to rewire this connection to large numbers equaling money because it's not the case. It's not. I have this has happened to me in the same like few months where I will have a client with 1 million followers and I'll have a client with like 250 followers, and the 250 follower client is making multi six figures a month, and the client with the $1 million is barely making six figures a year, and they're in the red because it costs more to run their channel. Like this has happened to me on repeat. I'll give you another example. I'm working with someone right now, one of my Kainat students that came to me has a following of 50,000 people, and she had made zero money in her business. She has a job and she has a provider husband and other things, but she had made zero money. And in her first month of implementing the formula that I gave her, I said, you don't even have to do it perfectly. Let's just test this out. She had 32 people sign up for her, what I call an attraction event. And she just had her first 11.5 euro month. I know in the last video I had said dollars and then she corrected me. This is actually euros. So 11.k in 1 month. Just with 32 people showed up to her attraction event. Imagine if as we put this in practice more, this is just this month. So did she have to convert all 50,000 people? Nope. In fact, only 32 people showed up to her presentation and she made 11.5 5K. Because now what we did, we laser focused and spoke to the right person. We created the perfect feminine offering for the right person. So you essentially, she doesn't need the 50K people. She just needed the 32 to have her first 11.5 euro month. And now we're fine tuning, refining. I'm guaranteeing that we're going to probably triple or 4x that in the next month. I just mapped out her entire like $1 million year. So it's not about the numbers because you might be thinking, oh, well, Mina, she has 50K followers. Yeah, but 32 showed up to the attraction. We only sold to 32 people. Not all 32 converted. Not all 32 even converted to some of those. So you don't need large numbers. You need to call the right people. You have to understand this. I want my YouTube subscribers to be raving buyers. Yes. Yes. This is why small channels with 200 followers on YouTube, 500 followers are outperforming monetarily big channels with millions of followings. The thing, I love YouTube. I'm approaching 15 years on YouTube. I could do a whole love letter of series just to YouTube. It's the only platform that literally pays you to send you clients. YouTube pays me 6 figures a year to send me clients. Like, what? Like, what time do we live on? Like, how crazy is this, right? Okay, next one. Uh, let's see. So we talked about, yes, we talked about knowing the consciousness, speaking to the right clients. Here's the next thing. Feminine sales is all about seduction. It's not about forcing, it's not about manipulating, it's not about convincing. It is about seduction, though. You can't be totally passive. There is an art to the seduction. Seduction equals alignment, attraction, magnetism, and that is something that I'm teaching inside. I'm going to be making you guys an invitation inside of my voltage and visibility course because yes, you're not going to be chasing and hustling, but you do need to learn the art of attraction. There is a strategy with that. There does need to be a strategy. What I've seen, and you guys know I have a very large budget. I invest in everything. I want to learn from everyone. What I've seen in the industry is if you just buy feminine sales, all you're going to get is like manifestation stuff, which is great if you already know strategy. But a lot of people fail in those courses. I've been in masterminds with people that are like, okay, they are like their energy is great. They can't sell to save their life because there's no structure to how to, they don't know how to sell. They don't know strategy. And then I've also been in containers that is so strategy heavy. So basically what I'm saying is there's like rooms full of just sperm saying, why can't we have a baby? And there's room full of just eggs saying, why can't we have a baby? Let's just put it together. Let's just like have a party and like put it together and see what happens. Oh, wow, suddenly we've got a baby. Okay. So seduction is about making someone feel more of themselves in your presence, showing them what you've got, making them invitations, and letting them close themselves, guiding them to help them close. Let me see what you guys are saying. Do you talk about marketing research in this course, Mina, or do you base it on your own experience? I don't have clients yet, so it's hard to know what exactly to say. So my market research is the 42,000 clients that I've served. So I'm not talking about like just market research as far as other people. I mean, I see other people in masterminds and stuff, but I have experience with myself and I have experience with my clients. So what happens is because you're in the room with people with a like for example, my husband and I did an office hours call in Gynath yesterday. It was a 3-hour call with both him and me. And there were women getting coached that had physical products. There were women getting coached that were doctors, and they're now adding like mentorship and coaching services. There's a hormone specialist, there's real estate agents. So you get to see how the same sales and marketing masculine and feminine principles work across. We've got dating coaches in there, we've got influencers, we have such a wide variety of people. So you get to learn from each other as well. But the formula is the same. Sales is sales is sales because sales is based on human psychology. It's based on human nature. Okay. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's great, Mina, but I don't really like selling. The truth is, most people who say they don't like selling, they don't know how to sell. That's why. Once you realize that you selling is just sharing what changes lives, sales becomes sacred service. A lot of us don't like things that are hard that we don't know how to do, right? But once we learn how to do them, I love selling every single day. I love it. I have now like thousands of videos that sell for me while I'm doing other things, and I'm still showing up every day, right? Like I love it. Our dividend earnings per month, just from our like passive dividends from our investments, every month is more money than my husband and I can spend in a whole year. But I'm here every day because I love it. When you understand that sales is service, you just love it, right? Here's another thing that people say. What if they say no? That's the point. Your job as a feminine guide in the sales process is to help them say no or yes. I love it when people say yes, and I love it when people say no. Because if it's not the right place for them, they need to say no. Because I don't want people to buy what's not the right match for them. That's not good for them. It's not good for me. It's not good for my business. Because when I guide people, the right people to come into my containers, they get amazing results and they buy more and they bring friends. So many of the women in Kainat have their friends who joined Kainat. Why? Because they got such amazing results, they went and told their friends, and their friends came and joined. If I had signed up the wrong people, that wouldn't be happening. That would actually hurt my business, right? So we want to make sure that we're guiding people to say no and yes, the right people. Okay. So it's not, you cannot be emotional in business. That's why we need masculine energy in business. If it's, you can't go into, oh no, they rejected me. Good. That's the point. That's not a good match for them. If you were working at Chanel and I walked in and I'm trying to buy the wrong thing and you know that that's not the right bag for my event, you should tell me. You should guide me to say no to that. I love it. This has happened to me so many times. Actually, Valentina is really good at this. I've walked into the Valentina store at Valentino. I'm sorry, not Valentina. That's Alina's stuffed animal's name. Valentino store at Galleria Mall here in Houston. And so many times I've been looking for something for an event, and they're like, actually, we don't have anything for that. I think Fendi will be better. I'm like floored because they're not competing with each other. They know I'm a lifelong client. I've been shopping there for over a decade, 17 years now, right? So they already know that when I have the right match, I do buy from them. I love them even more. Do you know that I found my lash tech because of the Valentino store? Like, because they'll guide me into the thing that actually serves me. They have a lifelong client with me. They're not like forcing me to buy something that does not work. That is excellent sales because now you're not ruining, like they're not willing to ruin their relationship with me over one transaction. That's not legacy thinking. My daughter is already planning on writing part two of Lady Balls, right? So I'm not trying to get clients, the wrong clients, for a business that we already know that my kids are going to inherit. It's a legacy game. Okay. What's the difference between this course and CEO Boss Queen? So I haven't given you guys the invitation yet. So I'm going to be inviting you into a voltage and visibility. CEO Boss Queen is just it's amazing. It's one of my best things that I've ever taught. It's included in Kainat, by the way. It's my group coaching container that was like it was many years ago, and it's like 3 years worth of trainings in there, but it's sunset now, meaning you just get the recordings. This is happening live. And so in the last many years, I've learned even more. So this is like the most current, even though that's like energetic, that's still good. People still love my older courses as well. But this is like what I'm teaching live tomorrow. And I'll tell you more about that. Okay. So sales is not something you do to someone, it's something you do with them. Does that make sense? Repeat after me. Sales is not something you do to someone, it's something you do with them. I want the right people in my offers. I'm not for everyone. Yes. And the thing is, sometimes when we say we're not for everyone, it can sound a little entitled. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but it can sound like that. It's just that everyone at this point in time is not the ideal client for you. That's just it, right? It's they might not be a mom yet, and maybe your course is for moms. Like there's just it's not a right match. And so it's just about making sure it is actually a good match for the right person. Another thing I've heard is I'm bad at sales. The truth is most people don't like they don't understand that human psychology. When people say I'm bad at sales, they're bad at relationship skills. That's what it is. They're bad at relationship skills. Once you understand relationship skills, you become good at sales. This is why my people will take my relationship courses, dating and marriage courses, and say, "Oh my God, I 10x my business." And then people will take my business courses and say, "Oh my God, I'm having the best sex of my life." Because here's the little secret. Whether you're wanting to be better in dating, in marriage, have a better relationship with your mother, have a better relationship with yourself, sell more, have more money, it comes down to human behavior, human psychology, and relationships because we are human, tribal, pair bonding creatures. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. CXT. So both CEO Boss Queen and voltage and visibility is included in Kainat as well. I know that you said you both. Okay. So let me know if you guys are ready to hear my invitation, and then I'm going to make my invitation for those of you guys are ready, and then we'll do a Q&A because I know that was a lot and I'm sure you guys have questions. Who here is ready to hear my invitation? Who wants me to sell from a place of sacred service so you can see how it's done and how easy and fun it gets to be? Christian said sales is not what we do to someone, it's what you do with them. Yes. Yes. Uh, My money is in investments, and I just finished training in somatic therapy and have not made money from business yet, but I need to be in your course. I can't wait to expand into feminine marketing. When you don't have money is when you have to learn how to sell. This is a big problem with people think I don't have the money to invest. That's when you have to invest. When I didn't have the money, that's when I invested in my education because I needed skill sets to make money. So this can be a really kind of, it's like a mind twister, but the best investments is when you learn how to sell. Otherwise, like I've said to you guys millions of times, with receipts, I've outperformed every market because I know how to sell. I have skills and I know how to sell them. That's the secret. Sell, 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 Jody said. Okay, so let me share my invitation. So are you ready? Let me know. So now that I've given you the blueprint, here's the truth. Knowing it in theory is not enough. A lot of people know this, but you need to practice and you need to calibrate. Waiting to have money to invest in learning sales is like the biggest trap because how are you going to have money if you don't know how to sell? People spend so much money on getting their skills and then they never learn to sell them. No one's gonna pay for it. Even look at with a book, it doesn't say best author, it says best selling author. I could have the best book. If I don't know how to sell it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? You need someone to help you braid the masculine container and the feminine invitation until it becomes second nature. I want you to sell as if you are breathing. Selling should be breathing. Okay. So this is why I created Voltage and Visibility. This is my 12-week feminine energy and masculine energy braided master coaching container. We start tomorrow. This is where I braid both energies for you so you can leave with clarity, confidence, and proven feminine and masculine sales processes that actually work. It works immediately. It works in your first month as long as you're willing to put it in practice. The only time it doesn't work is when people don't put it in practice. So inside, I'm going to walk you through everything you're going to learn. So you're going to learn to craft your big idea and your brand values so that your business, marriage, and message align and you stop second guessing who you are online and who the hell you're serving. And you're not shape shifting every day. And you're not one person and then another person. You're also going to learn to break the permission punishment cycle. Oh my God, we do this so much, right? So that you can stop waiting for someone to crown you and finally crown yourself. You have to crown yourself the expert, the authority, the category queen. You're also going to learn how to metabolize fear so that courage, not confidence, I'm so done with confidence. No one has confidence. Have courage, becomes your default mode, and you actually start moving. Okay. You're also going to learn how to find your voltage and voice. This is important so that your brand and sales land like lightning and your words magnetize clients instead of chasing them. You want to make your brand where when you're sleeping, people come binge watch you and they just buy. You wake up to sales. Sales becomes as easy as breathing. You're also going to learn to play in the 99 realm so that business feels alive, creative, and fun again, not heavy and rigid. Okay, I love what I do so much that I want to do it every single day. Why I get to do this. I get to feel alive in my business. You are also going to learn polarity in business and marriage so that you can balance flow and structure, pleasure and provider energy in every area of life. So as you guys know, Irfan co-teaches with me in Kainat. He's going to be in Voltage and Visibility as well. He brings his decades of engineering and corporate experience. He used to be a consultant for Fortune 500 companies. They would fly him all over the world to consult with their top CEOs, like sales teams, like all the things. So he brings his experience. I bring my real estate, feminine energy, online business, digital marketing, all that experience. So you get to have both of us. And the reason this is important, I want you to see an example of how we keep our polarity while working together. That so many of my clients in Kainat say that this has been a game changer, that this is 10x their marriage, because when they see how Irfan and I are able to work together while still keeping the polarity, we have date nights, we literally feel like I feel so absolutely blessed to be able to say this that we just like fell in love last night. Like it's like we just met. That energy to keep it, we're going to be celebrating 17 years next month for our marriage. We just celebrated 17 years last month of when we met. To be able to keep that and it gets better and better and better every year. We have so much admiration, respect, love, romance, ravishment, friendship. He's my best friend. We get to have romance, we get to have polarity, we get to go teach together. We love it. Arena, who joined Kainat a few months ago, she said, and just the next day she messaged and she said, being held by Irfan in the safe container, she said it healed decades of masculine energy wounds for her. She's like, it's like having this big brother, this older, wise cousin figure looking after you. That in itself is so healing. So we do it together so you can get that example. So many of our clients now are starting to involve their husbands and their children in their business. It's turning into this thing that you do on the side over here to like something you get to do together, and it brings your marriage together. It brings your family together because we're in it for the legacy. We're in it for the long haul. So you get to see how my business works within my marriage, how my children participate. Like you get to see it all behind the scenes. You also will learn in voltage and visibility, proficiency and mastery so that you stop dabbling and finally become the category queen of your feminine magic and medicine. You're also going to learn how to create your irresistible feminine offerings that actually work together. So we learn about how to sell one offer that sells your other offers. Like it's just such a playful, fun, pleasurable thing so that people feel invited, not pressured, and sales feel like seduction, not stress. And you also will learn how to expand your capacity so that you can hold more money, more clients, more orgasms, more visibility, more money without sabotaging or collapsing. And you're also going to learn passion and voltage so that your business turns you on and fuels your marriage, your family, your life instead of draining you. I've seen couples that say they work together and all of a sudden they're like fighting or it's all business, they're not having sex. We still like every year our marriage is like rip your clothes off, kind of like turned on because we're both in our passion. We love what we do. Like our business changes the planet. So it is a myth that working together will drain you. It's the energy that you bring. It's the energy that you bring. And you get to see that because behind the scenes, you see both of us, like how we are with each other and how you can bring that. And as if that was enough, you're also going to learn the art of feminine power and life force so that you lead with sovereignty, presence, and magnetic authority. What if your business actually enhanced your marriage, your romance, your dating? What if your business enhanced your parenting? It all gets to work together as women. We are holistic whole beings. And you're going to also learn integration, the $1 million babe pathway. Remember the 8 P's I recently shared? So that you walk away with a lifelong framework, not just energetics, like actual things you can do, not just another course that you forget. Okay. So we have engineers, like all kinds of people in Kainat, and they say that they're visual learners too. So we give you actual step by step and energetics. We give you both. Yeah. So classes start live tomorrow. And the price right now is 4,888. Tomorrow, when it starts, it goes up to 5,555. But here's the thing. Each of these play shops, the 12 play shops, are each worth 4,444. So let me give you an example. So this entire 12-week container is worth $53,328, and you're paying today 4,888 to have a skill set that you can monetize for the rest of your life. If you can use what we're sharing in here and make one or two sales, depending on your offer, like how much your offer is, you get your money back. Like you should be able to make your money back within a month if you actually put these frameworks and energetics in place. So we start tomorrow. And what I'm offering you is for those of you guys that have your eyes on Kainat, you can, within the 12 weeks that we're together, you can apply 4,444 of the credit, your investment, towards Kainat. I'm going to drop the link, but you have 12 weeks. If you're like, oh my God, I love this, I want the whole thing, you can join us. You can roll over 4,448 of your credit into Kainat. Make it extra juicy for you guys. Okay, I'm going to drop the link. This was called initially Feminine Energy Master Coaching, but we changed the name. I sent out an email yesterday. She wanted her Sasha Fierce moment. So the name is now Voltage and Visibility, which I think is more fitting. Yeah? This is making me so nervous. I'm just gonna do it. The fear lets me know I should. Yes, fear is just a sign that you're playing on the edge. It's fear is the permission. If I'm not feeling fear, that means I'm making a lateral move. That means I'm not really doing anything big. And if you wanted to roll it over within 12 weeks to Kainat, then you could also have CEO Boss Queen, Slow Sex Fast Money, which is my framework on how to sell to hunters versus farmers. Like you can roll it over and get all of those trainings. You can get my Huntress course, which is included in Kainat. You can get my Speed course, which teaches you how to go fast and build momentum from a regulated place. Hi, Natalie. It's so nice to have you. Sandra said, I already bought the course and this invitation is making me even more excited to be in it. I cannot wait for our first call tomorrow. Yes, Sandra, congratulations. I'm super excited. This is like full on permission for you to step into selling like a sacred huntress, divine feminine being. This is your feminine offering. Like it should be fun to sell it. It should be like breathing, but you need both the masculine and the feminine to be able to do it. Yeah. There is a 3-month payment plan, which will be going away this week because I want to make sure that all the payments come in before it's over. So, or you can use, if you're in the US, you can use Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay. Those are the three at checkout. If that's only for the US, so I'm also offering a 3-month payment plan. It's 1777, 3 monthly payments. Or if you pay in full, it's 4,888. And whether you have 20 followers or 200,000 or 2 million will give you exactly what you need to do to start selling from a place of service, from enjoyment, from fun, from pleasure. Because this gets to be fun. Let's see. This is great. I can't wait until my husband and I are on the level. This has happened with so many women in Kainat where their husbands have their jobs and the wives had their little husband, and all of a sudden, from like being in the container and seeing Irfan and I working together, their husbands want to help the women in their business. That it gets to be fun, and not that my husband has to. He loves it. Did you guys see what happened in office hours yesterday? Who was there? Audra, I think you were there. Where's my Kainat crew? So it was supposed to be a 2 hour call, actually 90-minute call. And it was his day to do the office hours, which is our hot seat coaching. Well, Irfan had a call and he had a coaching call and we started getting really close to the time. And I told my husband, I was like, I think you have to go. And he's like, oh, the woman he was coaching was in Kainat. So he's like, hey, can you like can we just extend it and I'll just do it afterward? And she was like, yeah, yes. And then there was another opportunity where I was like, oh, the call is coming up. He's like, no, we'll just go. Did you guys notice that he didn't want to leave? Did you guys notice that? Yeah, did you, Arena saying he wanted to stay longer. He says that in all his years in corporate, he never felt any like he didn't hate his job, he didn't love it. He just did it because he was like, I'm a man, I provide for my family. He just did it. And when he started helping me with my business, he says that he didn't even know that you could like feel this way in what you do. He had never experienced doing something that brings you so much satisfaction and joy. So let me give you another example. I have this thing I'm going to on Friday. Today's Wednesday, right? In 2 days. And so it's like a women in business kind of an event. And so I had bought tickets to go to this, and it's like 40 minutes away. So I had told my husband that I've got to leave early. I'm just gonna Uber there. And last night we were all cozying up in the bed to watch a movie together, me, Irfan, and the kids. And he goes, "Kids, wouldn't it be fun if we just go pick up Mama on Friday after her business meeting, and then we go out to lunch, and then we go for dessert, and we all do all this stuff?" And the kids were like, "Yay!" And I'm sharing this with you because I don't know if this is healthy or not. A lot of American people might not think, but this is how our marriages are in my culture. Like we're obsessed with each other. Like the thought of, because we work together, my kids are virtually school, so they have teachers and success coaches and everything, but it's all online. We're always together. We are obsessed with each other. And The fact that I'm going to be away from home for 3 hours and they're like, can we come pick you up? And then we'll have lunch and we'll do all this. And again, some people might not see this, but we are freaking obsessed with each other. We love what we do. We love each other. We're best friends. And so even though my husband had to go for a coaching call yesterday, he wanted to stay with us. This is when you know that what you love, your marriage, your life, like what you've created is so life-giving. Most people I know, right? Like their husband would be like, okay, yeah, she's gonna be gone for the day. Good. Like I get to do my own thing, right? My husband's like, no, I want, what? You're gonna be away for 3 hours? Like we'll come pick you up. We'll do lunch, right? And that's how we are. We just want to be with each other. We love spending time with each other. I think a lot of people have this mindset of, everything has to be separate. They don't want to be with their kids. They don't want to be with their husband, all this stuff. But I've had to work through my own container issues of how much love I get to have, how much joy I get to have, be so supported in my business, in my life, in my marriage. Like I've had to do my own inner work of being able to receive this, but this is available and you get to really see this. Mina, is this course for people who don't even make 6 figures a year? Which course would you recommend for just starting out with your business? So I have entry level courses that are more like beginner. Honestly, here's what I'm going to say. It's not about where you are in your business, it's how self-led you are. Because the frameworks and the energetics that Irfan and I are teaching in here, anyone can use it and immediately start making money. If you're at 0, you can go to 5 figures. If you're at 5 figures, you can go to 6 figures. If you're at 6, you can go to 7. If you're at 7, you can go to 8. I'm using the same principles to go to 9. However, are you self-led? Because we've had some people come in saying, I don't really know what to do. And we're like, this is exactly what you need to do. All these people are doing it, they're getting results, and they won't do it. That does happen because there's an actual block. That's why we give you both. We work with the subconscious. If you're self-led and you're like, I want to be in the room, I want the framework, I want to know exactly what I need to do to start making money today. You don't even need an audience. I even give you a framework of how to sell to 5 people today without being on social media. Because remember, I learned how to sell without social media. I'm not dependent on social media. I can sell to any human. I know how to sell to human beings. It doesn't matter if they're on the internet. It doesn't matter if they're at the cafe. It doesn't matter if they're on vacation. I can sell them anywhere. And Christian said, I do not make 6 figures yet, and I'm preparing to join Kainat very soon. And she is already in visibility and voltage because this is how you make it. This is how you do it. You know, oh, okay, I need the subconscious work, I need the energetics, and I also need to how to channel that. I think a big problem right now is too many people keep only learning energetics, but they don't know how to actually sell. When you understand both, like the people that come and they tell us, well, I have, 10,000 followers, but I just don't know how to sell. Teach me how to sell. We teach them how to sell. They won't do it. We're like, there's something else going on. Then we move into the subconscious wiring. We do the cleansing. Like we give you the entire thing. And this is included in Kainat. That's why we're letting you make the investment with this and then move it towards the 12 weeks. You can move it towards Kainat. Um, Gorgeous, I'm so sorry you're being bullied. Right now, we're talking about sales, and I would like to keep this training about this. I would go and talk to HR and see what you can do there, but I would love to keep this training on the topic at hand. Mina, will this course work for my in-person classes? I'm a dance fitness instructor. I don't have online classes yet. All of it is in person. Yes, gorgeous. And we actually have someone else in there with exactly your situation. You can actually go and follow her. She has multiple businesses. I'll give you her name. Can one of you guys, one of my Kainat ladies, can you give her Kelly's Instagram, please? So one of our Kainat members, she's a professor. She also has a yoga dance studio. She's a queen. She's got multiple businesses. Let me tell you guys something honestly. It's easier to sell in person because it's easier to regulate someone's nervous system in person. So when I transferred my in-person skill sets over online, I had to learn to take that, the human psychology of selling in person, and move it. This is why people who do in-person events have like extraordinary results in sales. People don't even believe them. And this is why if you can add an element of in-person, your sales will 10x. There's a whole psychology to that. Okay. So that's a whole nother thing. So it's going to be easier for you. Doesn't mean you can't do it online. You have access to more people online. You need to learn to transfer the art of nervous system regulation through a screen. And I will teach you how to do that. Let's see. That's so amazing. How sweet. I strive for this for my family as well. Please make a course about it. How to sell when it's a mass media platform like TikTok when watering down your business. So I sell from embodiment and I teach from embodiment. I'm not a fan of TikTok or Instagram for sales. I have a TikTok presence, I have an Instagram presence. I love YouTube. We have famous TikTokers in Kainat who sell on TikTok and Instagram. Sales is sales, but I prefer YouTube. So what they can help you do inside of Kainat is everything I teach you, they're taking it and using it on TikTok and Instagram. I just prefer YouTube. I think YouTube is the best platform to be on for sales. This is my belief. And I do make sales off of Instagram. I'm not very active on TikTok, so I can't speak with that. A lot of my clients right now that I just quoted in here, like Maria, a couple of these women are like huge on Instagram and they're selling. They weren't selling before they met me, even though they have really large audiences. Now they're selling. Um, so you can do it on Instagram. I prefer YouTube for a host of different reasons. So many different reasons. YouTube actually pays you to send you clients. And YouTube is evergreen. It's easier for your ideal clients to buy. It's just, I could do a whole love series just on YouTube. So the things I'm teaching you in Visibility and Vortex, you can use it in person. You can use it online. You can use it on any social media platform. You can use it off of social media. You don't even need social media for it. You can use it in ads. You can do it with organic marketing. You can use it in person. You can do it with products you have to send out, ship out. You can do it with books. You can do it with digital content. You can do it with courses. You can use its sales skills based on human psychology. You can use it with anything. Let's see what else is coming up. Oh, we said we were going to talk about I was going to give you guys the YouTube example. Let me find my video that I wanted to share as an example. Let me see if I can search for it. Here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the link in here and I'm gonna read it out to you guys. This is a great example. Okay, so this video is called, it's a 13-minute YouTube video and it's called How to Reverse Your 50-50 Relationship Even When You Earn More. And this video has, how many views does it have? 3,800 views. Why did a video on my channel with 3,800 views outperform in sales videos with 80,000 views? Who wants to analyze this? Not my Kainat students, you guys already know. Why? Can anyone, based on everything I taught you guys today, why did this video outperform other videos in sales? Sandra, the Telegram chat is for Kainat students. So we're not gonna have a separate one. I think it would be too much for them to be in multiple telegrams, but we do have one for Kainat students, but this specific course won't have its own. But you'll get to interact with them in their live calls. Super specific. Was this the video where you talked about the provider course? Yes, but in the 80,000 views videos, I also talked about courses. So that's not it. I talked about course. I mentioned my courses in every video. Speaks to a specific. Jody Ann, yes. So here's the thing. There's a lot of content on social media on 50-50 relationships. Most of the people watching that content don't have relationships. They just like to they're in the consciousness of men versus women, and they just want to get their hit of like suffering. When I say how to reverse your 50-50 relationship even when you earn more, well, here's the thing. 40% of US households are dual income, and of those 40%, 45% of women earn more than men. So do you see that now suddenly I'm talking to someone who has a very specific problem? What is their problem? Their problem is they think that they are stuck in a 50-50 relationship because they earn more. Their desire is to be provided for even though they earn more. Do you see? So I talk about my courses in all my videos. However, the videos that get 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 views, those are attraction events. I created those videos with a specific title to attract as many people as I can in my genre, in my niche. This video is not to attract new people. New people are welcome if they want to come. However, it's to take the people that have this very specific problem and a very specific desire to buy. So even though this video has 3,800 views, it converts like hotcakes versus the videos with 80,000 views. It's not designed for that. Those videos also converted, but the numbers don't make sense. They do when you know what you're doing, but to someone else, they would say, how could a video that got so low views compared to your other videos? Because it was made as a conversion event. So some of my content is created to attract people, attraction events, and some are conversion events. And this is something that I've been doing for 9 years, is making sure that the purpose of that video is served. And this is why when I'm sleeping, eating, vacationing, whatever I'm doing, there's sales coming in because new people are finding me, and those people are binge watching content and then being converted. They're closing themselves. Yes. The women who needed to hear it were already earning more. You're speaking to someone specifically. Yes. And Wendy, those people have money to spend. This is another mistake I've had clients make where they are very specific who they're speaking to, but they're not realizing that that niche of people, they don't have money to spend. For example, if I was marketing my $4,000 sales course to 12-year-olds without even realizing it, it would look like I have a lot of followers, and I would be very confused why no one's buying it because their mom's not going to give them permission to buy a $4,000 course, right? Now, I do have college students buy. I've had college students come into Kainat and they said that I'm in university to get those skills, and I'm getting the feminine energy relationship skills from you. So they end up using some of their financial aid to buy this because they're like, I rather get both those educations at the same time. So it's not that I'm filtering everyone out, but that's a very self-led woman. She's someone like I was in university, that I was like always learning, always growing. Mina, I don't currently have courses, but I offer somatic coaching. Will we be learning how to create a course or mostly just selling? We're going to be learning how to create an offer. An offer has nothing to do with a course, but it could be a course. So for example, Audra, are you still here? Audra is using these specific frameworks. She has them from Kainat, and she's selling a service. She's a licensed therapist, and she's selling her services. She's not selling a course yet. Am I correct, Audra? She's going to be creating courses, but this is sales skills. You need an offer. An offer can include a course, it can include a product, it can include combination, it can include a book, it can include a service. You don't need a course to have an offer, but you could have one in there. So let me give you another example. What I'm selling you today, voltage and visibility. What is this? It's not a course. There's nothing in it. For those of you guys that bought it, you don't have anything right now. You just have a Zoom link. So did you buy a course? No, not really. You bought coaching, right? You bought a service. When I deliver this in the next 12 weeks, then it will be a recorded part of Kainat that will be, available through Kainat. And then some people might call it a course at that point. I don't know, but it's a part of my mentorship container. But it's not about a course. We're not selling courses, right? Do you see? It's an offering. My head just exploded right now with ideas. Oh, amazing, Kristen. I can't wait to hear. Yes. Any other questions that I can help you guys with related to what we're talking about? By the way, YouTube has just upgraded its AI technology, and now you want to really make sure that the content intention matches what the actual content in the words is. Because let's say that I titled this video, how to, what is it? Sales, right? And someone was asking me about bullying, and I start suddenly talking about that. It will really mess with my search results because it's using what's actually in the content to also rank. So now I'm like even more strict that I'm not going to go off on a tangent and start talking about something else. Do you have some example how to use our words to target a person that actually have money to invest? Sure. But first, may I hear more about your offer? Because it would depend on what your offer is, right? So I can give you a general example. I attract a lot of feminine energy content creators and YouTubers and Instagrammers and TikTokers with hundreds of millions of followers, hundreds of thousands to millions of followers. And they come to me and they say, why am I not making any sales? I even had someone come and say, I took the exact name of your course and the exact modules, which please don't do that, and I can't sell it. They took my highest selling course, named their own course exactly that, put the same modules, and they couldn't sell it. Here's why. If you look at their social media content, the way they're dressed, the way they're speaking, the language that they're using in their titles and descriptions is attracting very young girls that want to, without realizing it, do kind of like gold digging or escorting. These women do not have money. And so they come and they consume their free content, they comment, they're like, tell me more. But these are like very young girls that want to escape life. They don't really have any skills. They don't have any jobs. They don't have money to invest. So they're like, well, but I took your course's name. How come you sell it? So let me talk a little bit about my channel. So when I started this YouTube channel, I did not have a business. I had no intention of a business at that time. I just started sharing my life. And I was a stay-at-home mom at that time, grieving my mother. So I started doing hauls and I was buying MAC, Victoria's Secret, and Louis Vuitton. Well, here's the thing. People who buy MAC cosmetics, Victoria's Secret, Louis Vuitton handbags, there's a certain demographic. Then I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and I started making lifestyle content, keto content. Who watches keto content? So what happened? Some of those people left because they still wanted to watch Louis Vuitton content and some stayed. People who watch keto content are typically disciplined people. They're health conscious. Again, that's a segment, it's a certain segment of a population, right? These people also tend to have money, they're disciplined, they have jobs. Not everyone, most of them. Then I healed my autoimmune disease and I moved over to talking about inner work and relationships. Well, that same audience started watching that and new people started coming in. So then when I launched my life coaching practice, those people have money to buy that stuff. Can you kind of see that? So when other people come and they're like, well, Mina has a course called The Savage Feminine. Let me just copy her course title. But the content that they're making, they're wearing like foo-foo dresses. They're speaking like they're a little girl. They're talking about being flown all over the world by all these men. All these young girls are like, I want that. But those young girls are not the kind of people that buy coaching or courses or have the money to do so. So they will have millions of followers. And I'll be honest with you, some of these clients struggle to follow my advice because they're like, but my views will go down. And I'm like, I hear you. But if you have children watching you, you can make AdSense money, but they're not the type of people that buy the service that you're selling. Just like if I was selling dresses, but I was attracting men, they wouldn't be buying dresses because men don't buy dresses, right? So you have to think about, am I really communicating and messaging in a way that attracts the people that would make the best match for my product? Is this helping? Yeah, tech is it's like really stepping up its game, huh? So that's what I mean. And YouTube tells you this. If you go into the Creator app and you look at your demographic, it will tell you the age group of the people following you. What's the age group of the people following you? Because if all your people following you are very, very young, you can keep nurturing them. Eventually, they'll get jobs, hopefully, and they'll have money. But right now, they're not in that category, right? Of people that would buy that. Yeah. Anything else coming up for you guys before we wrap up today? We start tomorrow, I believe at 10 a.m. for voltage and visibility. All my Gynot women will be in there as well. Let me see. I'm trying to see when it does it start. Yes, 10 a.m. tomorrow. The age group of the people following me are mostly around my age. I don't, Sandra, I'm not sure how old you are, but there is a formula. We have to look at it, right? There's also a formula. This is also something I'm teaching, and there is you have to know what to give for free on social media versus what should be in your courses. Because if you could have like a variety of age groups, but you want to sell to the richest segment of your audience. That doesn't mean they have to be billionaires. It does mean they have to be able to afford what you're selling and really desire what you're selling. They could really desire it, but not have the money. That doesn't help, right? They could have the money, but not desire it. That's not good. So you need to really be able to sell to the people with the money and the desire. And you have to also be able to awaken desire. That's something I'm really, really good at. I have an entire course on just awakening desire called Divinely Sold. Sold is SOUL apostrophe D. That's just about like awakening desire in people. Yes, I always wonder about what to share on YouTube and what to share in private containers. Yes, there is a science and an art to it. Really, when you're braiding masculine and feminine energetics and sales, you have to understand that now we're talking about science and art. You will need both. Yeah. Your public facing content needs to be specific to something, and then your what you should reserve for your paid containers needs to be different. That's a big confusion for people a lot of times. It's like, I don't know what to give. I don't know what should be what there. What safety measures do you have to protect against people stealing and using your content? We have a SOPs class in Kainat, so I'm going to keep that there. I don't want to give that information publicly, just for the safety of my business. So we can talk about that inside of Kainat. But yeah, there are things you can do up to a certain level, obviously. There's a specific way to market yourself on social media where the people copying you are actually marketing for you without realizing it. And I will teach you that. We've talked about that quite a bit in Kainat. There's a way to leverage other people's mass audience to actually sell your products. This has happened to me so much. People will come and immediately like buy 50K packages, 100K packages, private work with me. And then I'll say, "Oh, how did you find me?" And they'll say, "I found you yesterday." And I'm thinking, "You found me yesterday and you just bought like my highest package?" And they say, "Well, what happened was I found people on TikTok that were talking about things you teach, and I could tell that that was not their content. And I kept praying and watching, hoping that I would find the original source. And then the minute I landed on your YouTube channel, I knew that it was your work, and then I'm here." So what happens is there's a way you can market yourself, position yourself, where the people who think they're stealing from you are actually marketing for you. So they warmed up my audience, they attracted my audience, warmed up my audience, and then my audience came and just bought from me because they knew this is where it's at. You can do this in a really clever way. And again, I won't put that on. I won't give, I'm giving you enough game, but I'm saving some stuff for inside the private containers. Yeah. Yes, you have to be able to also awaken desire. Yeah. So at any given time, you want to attract your ideal buyers, but you also want to be creating your ideal buyers. And creating your ideal buyers, it is about awakening desire. Mina, it's so funny because I found you when I heard another creator talking about a woman who talks about rotational dating. Wow, that's smart. Amazing. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's all barakat coming towards you. And I don't even remember how I managed to find you after that, but I'm so glad I did. A lot of my highest paying clients say that's how they found me. It was someone else using my work. And then as soon as they landed, they knew. And I love hearing. So I'm like, "Tell me how you knew," because I'm like, okay, I can use this information to teach my clients. So it's really this beautiful loop. And then these are the kind of conversations that we have inside the paid stuff, paid containers. Yeah. Thank you so much. I will be available for a little bit for those of you guys watching in the replay. Let me know in the chat or in the comments and questions you have about voltage and visibility. Me and my team are available here for you. We start tomorrow. When you go to this link, which I will also pin in the comments, and you make the purchase, you immediately get an email. So check your spam if it accidentally goes there. The welcome email has the Zoom link in it and the schedule. So the two calls happening in September are already scheduled, and then we're meeting every week. Then the October schedule will be released at the end of September, and we'll be together for 12 workshops. Each workshop is worth 4,444 for a total of over 53K value. And your price today is 4,888. Tomorrow it goes up to 5,555. You can take 4,444 and apply it towards Skyna. Then you will walk away with exactly the frameworks, all the energetics, everything you need to do, what you need to say, what's in the paid stuff, what's public facing, how to sell in person, how to sell online, what's the difference. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I love, love, love selling. I love being with you. I love what I do. Yes, I found you from another YouTube feminine coach and I knew you're the original. People can tell. People can tell. And I teach you how to actually make it even more so that they can tell immediately. Yeah. Yes, people can see that you truly embody your teachings. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate you. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Like, I love, love, love talking about this. My mom used to love talking about sales and money. And to be honest with you, I feel like as much as I love talking about it, I don't think a lot of other people want to hear this stuff. They think they do, but they really don't want to. They don't have the container for it. And on another level, I think I've also been playing small because if I could just talk about this like all the time, I love it. But I'm like, oh, I don't know if people want to talk about it. I have spent 25 years earning and learning this information about sales and human psychology and nervous system rapport building and all of the stuff. And I wish to be able to give it to more people. But I don't know if women are scared because a lot of times they've been sold to or what they think is sales, they think it's difficult or they think it's hard or they think it's whatever, but I love it. Yeah. So, yep. Amazing. Yeah, I love this. I love this stuff. I love this work. I could talk about this 24/7. So yeah, be prepared. Okay, be prepared. Good, Sandra. So be prepared for tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'll see you guys in there. I'm just lit up because this is the stuff I want to talk about all the time, and now I get to do it. You guys remember how fun it was in Slow Sex, Fast Money? Like I just turn on, come alive when I get to teach sales and money. I love it. I love marketing, sales, money. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, ladies. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.